Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a quick little tip, a good little tool that you can use to really maximize your ab training. Typically, one of the best exercises to do for your abs is going to be your knee raises or leg raises. And this is a key exercise if you want to progress in your calisthenics journey and be able to do more advanced moves. The typical way of doing them is either in the hanging position or in a dip position. And for many of you, you may know this, by the time it comes to you doing your core work, and typically people will put it at the end of their workout, you're too fatigued to really hit your core hard because either your pulling muscles are fatigued, so in that hanging position, whether your grip or your back or anything like that is too fatigued, you cannot hold long enough to be able to really stimulate your abs, or maybe your pushing muscles, whether it's your chest, your triceps or anything like that, to be able to hold you in that dip position, to be able to do knee raises or leg raises, it's just too fatiguing. So either they burn out before your abs do, or you're so focused on them you can't really put the time in and really maximize the effectiveness of your core training. So I'm going to be sharing with you a great little tip and a tool that you can use to help maximize your core training, regardless of the fact that if your upper body is fatigued or not. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, my name is Lee, and if you're interested in anything to do with calisthenics, bodyweight training, beginner guides, hint tips, calisthenics equipment, anything like that, make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell so you know when I upload. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So like I said, typically one of the best exercises to do for your core is going to be doing leg raises or knee raises, depending on your strength and flexibility levels. Too many people are still doing crunches, which I think are an inferior exercise to this to the leg raise. But one of the things that puts people off from being able to do this is either by the time that they add it into the end of their training, they just do not have the grip strength. Maybe their hands are sore from all the pulling exercises or even deadlifts, anything like that, or maybe they're just too fatigued to hang in that position. Maybe they have shoulder mobility issues, so being in that proper position like that is uncomfortable, and it affects and it makes you not focus on your ab training. Maybe you're one of those people that have been doing a lot of pressing exercises, maybe your triceps are hurting, your chest, your shoulders, maybe just a lot of straight arm work is, you've done a lot of that and you are fatigued from doing that. The idea of doing leg raises or knee raises from that position is just too difficult, and maybe they burn out before your legs do. So what I want to do is show you this great little bit of kit that allows you to work out your core effectively, and in some cases in a bit more of an effective way, so you can maximize your core training and build the abs that you truly want. One thing I will say about this though is don't over rely on this. Basically, whenever you have equipment is great. It allows you to hit your body in different ways. It is a great thing to be able to use them, basically switch up your training for your body and for your mind, but you don't ever want to be in a position where you are over reliant on it. And this is something that's very common when people use straps for doing deadlifts. If you continually use straps to do deadlifts, you will never build up the grip strength to be able to do deadlifts without it. And if you haven't got your grip, your straps, it's going to impede your session, and you're not going to be able to overload your back muscles because your grip is going to be holding you back. This is a similar thing. They are a great bit of kit, but you don't want to over rely on them. So if you are in a position, or you don't mind adding them in while doing warm-ups or things like that, or maybe you're going to be doing core separately, make sure that you still do your core, your leg raises, your knee raises, whichever ones you do, in the hanging position, in the dip position. If you cannot do the hanging one because you have shoulder mobility issues, make sure that you do shoulder mobility things. You don't want to be relying on this bit of kit to compensate for the fact that you don't have enough shoulder mobility. Use these in your training to really hit your core if your upper body is too fatigued, but don't use them to replace proper core training. Okay, so with that out the way, let's have a look at the piece of equipment. So the piece of kit that I'm going to be referring to is the ab straps. These ones are from Pull Up and Dip. If you want to check these ones out, they are in a special link down below, and make sure you use my code LEE10, that's in caps lock, to get yourself 10% off at checkout. So the reason why I like these is that the fact that they've got a really nice wide bit to put your arm under. I've tried ones where they're a little bit thinner, and it's a bit more uncomfortable. It pinches your arm. So these are nice and wide and they're comfortable, and the carabiner is like this big, so you know it's going to hold your weight, and it's well made and it's good quality. So What I like about using ab straps is obviously by the time that I come to doing my core, which is typically at the end of my session, my hands are basically screwed up, whether it's calluses, whether they're just fatigued, my grip from doing all the pull-ups, or maybe like I've just implemented deadlifts into my training, so I'm doing pull-ups and doing inverted rows. Sometimes I'm doing a little bit of muscle-ups. Also I'm doing ring dips, ring push-ups, and other exercises like that, handstand push-ups, so my triceps are fatigued. So by the time I get to my core work, my upper body is just screwed. So sometimes just being able to hang in that position, I can't always do, and if I did, I might not be able to hold it long enough to really get a good amount of reps in here to really stimulate my abs. Or sometimes I'm just so focused on just holding on there, I can't really make my muscle connection to really think, okay, I really need to hit that core, focus on what I'm doing, because a lot of people, when they do their leg raises or their knee raises, they just focus on lifting their leg. Get your your ass sort of underneath you and really tense up that core to really hit your abs, not just raise your leg. What I like about using the ab straps though is, especially compared to doing it on the floor, is you're able to activate your back a little bit more, which again, your lats are actually a way of stabilizing your core and actually giving support to your spine. So the fact that you're able to get your lats involved in here too and create that stability in your spine is another great way to strengthen your core. But when you're in that position, and this is something you want to do when you're using them, is don't just put your arms in and just go floppy and just lift your legs willy-nilly and just trying to hit a rep count. Really focus on driving those elbows down, activating your back muscles, activating your lats to basically put yourself there and hold yourself stable. The last thing you want to do is to put your arms in here and you're swinging. You want to be able to use stability to be able to hold you in place so you can effectively raise your leg and tilt your pelvis to really hit your core hard. So that's what I like about using these, especially compared to doing them on the floor. You can really use your back to help stabilize you. The other thing that I like about it is, even though when you're doing your leg raise, you are hitting your whole entire core, sometimes when you're lifting your leg, with this one, you're able to, in a way, as I said, using your elbows in front of you to stabilize you, using your back muscles, you can kind of, as it comes up, you can kind of crunch into it a little bit. Which is me just doing that now. I can feel that on my abs because I'm able to effectively crunch over and sort of crunch from the top and also crunch from the bottom. So in a way, like, it feels like I'm able to place a lot more tension in my core and I can feel it a lot more effectively. So if you're looking to try and make your core training more effective, you're trying to find a way to get around the fact that when it comes to doing your core training, your upper body is so fatigued that you're not able to effectively do your leg raises or your knee raises, and you just don't like doing them on the floor, consider using ab straps. They might be a secret little weapon, a secret little tool that you can use to really take your core training to the next level. Like I said previously in the video, you don't want to use these to completely sort of take over from doing proper hanging leg raises or knee raises or the straight arm dip knee raise or leg raise. They should be your core, but when you do get to that point where they are a little bit fatigued, or maybe you can only do a couple of sets in those positions, whip out these and you can really hit your core and finish them off in an effective way. Like I said before, if you want to check this product out, there is a link down below. Make sure you use my code LEE10. If you want to check out the pull-up bar that I'm actually attached these things to, they are there too. They also do gymnastic rings, so anything like that, make sure you check them out. Use my code LEE10 to get yourself 10% off. If you're interested in anything to do with calisthenics, bodyweight training, beginner guides, hint tips, even equipment reviews, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you do basically buy these, or if you've used them before and you have an opinion on them, please comment down below. I would love to know what you think. And with that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next video.